Coming up, a family story set in a medieval village in Italy.
A book about what makes regional food regional.
Plus, our distraction of the week. I'm Mel.
I'm Dave. This is the Library of Lost Time.
Dominic Smith is the author of the historical novel The Last Painting of Sarah de Vos, which is set in 17th century Amsterdam, mid-20th century New York, and modern Sydney.
Now, I've heard of this book before.
Yes, you have. I recommended this book in our Strong Sense of Place episode about museums. He is very good at world building and characterization. I felt like I was in that story with those characters, and it packed a really nice emotional punch. He has a new novel out called Return to Valetto. This time, he's exploring the light-infused hills of Umbria in Italy. His fictional village of Valetto has been mostly abandoned. During World War II, it was a seat of the resistance, but now only 10 residents remain, including 3 sisters called the Widows Serafino. Their nephew Hugh is a historian, and he's grieving the deaths of both his wife and his mother. He's written a well-received book about forgotten villages and towns in Italy, and he describes his work by saying, "I specialize in abandonment."
Oh, geez.
Yeah. He returns to Valetto for a stay in the cottage where he spent his childhood summers. It's unclear if he's continuing to run from his life or trying to put it back together.
Yeah.
His daughter thinks the former.
Okay.
Then the plot thickens. A lady chef from Milan is squatting in his family's cottage. She claims that her family was promised the villa by Hugh's grandfather. As the two grapple with this issue, dark secrets from the war are revealed.
Oh.
I've been listening to the audiobook of this, and I am very excited to say that food plays a major part in the story. It's very immersive, and when I listen, I'm no longer folding laundry or washing dishes. I'm walking in Umbria.
Nice.
This is Return to Valetto by Dominic Smith.
Anya von Bremzen is a food writer and a cookbook author. She was born in Moscow and emigrated to Philadelphia when she was a kid. She wrote a book a few years back called Mastering the Art of Soviet Cooking, a memoir of food and longing. Publishers Weekly called it one of the best books of 2013.
I remember that book. I really liked it.
She has a new book out. It's called National Dish, Around the World in Search of Food, History, and the Meaning of Home. With this book, she's curious about what makes a regional dish regional. Who decides what makes French food French? Why do we associate pizza with Naples or ramen with Japan? And then, of course, there's Chinese food in America, which is different than Chinese food in China.
Mm-hmm.
Von Bremzen visits 6 different regions looking through the history, myth, identity, and commercialization of the world's great cuisines. If you're interested in food and culture, you'll probably enjoy this. It just came out this week. It's National Dish, Around the World in Search of Food, History, and the Meaning of Home by Anya von Bremzen. And now our distraction of the week. So I'm going to read you a poem. This poem comes on a long road. That road started with Hank Green. He's the brother of John Green, the author of The Fault in Our Stars and many others. Hank and John run a bunch of awesome projects, including the Crash Course series on YouTube. That's a general education series. It's brilliant. Take a look if you haven't. In that role, one of the things Hank does is answer questions about science. And he was doing that one day. He was answering a question about the Big Bang. The question was, what direction did the Big Bang happen in? And Hank sat there for a second and he said, well, before the Big Bang, there was no up, there was no down, there was no side to side. And now we leave the Green brothers and we start on the next part of the story. This is Act 2. A musician in L.A. heard that. Her name is Reina del Cid, and she wrote a poem that started there. She put it out as a YouTube video about 2 months ago. I could just play you that video, but I like reading you poems, so that's what's going to happen now. This is Reina del Cid's Big Bang. Before the Big Bang, there was no up, there was no down, there was no side to side, there was no light, there was no dark nor shape of any kind. There were no stars or planet Mars or protons to collide. There was no up, there was no down, there was no side to side. And furthermore, to underscore this total lacking state, there was no here, there was no there, because there was no space. And in this endless void, which can't be thought of as a place, there was no time, and so no passing minutes, hours, days. Of all the paradoxes that belabor common sense, I think this one's the greatest, this time before events. Because how did we get from nothing to infinitely dense, from immeasurably small to inconceivably immense? But before we get unmoored from the question at the start, let's take a breath and marvel at when math becomes an art. Because we don't have to understand it to know there was a time when there was no up, there was no down, there was no side to side.
That is so good.
Isn't that great?
Yes. It's almost a little Seussian.
Yeah. I really like that it's Seussian, but then it comes back with the physics.
Yeah.
I was also surprised to find out that Reina del Cid has already been on Strong Sense of Place. I used her version of Jambalaya in our New Orleans episode.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
I feel like we should meet her for a cocktail in LA.
Yeah, buy her a drink, yeah.
Visit strongsenseofplace.com/library for more about the books we discussed and for more information about Reina del Cid.
Thanks for joining us in the Library of Lost Time. Remember to visit your local library and your independent bookstore to lose some time yourself.
Stay curious. We'll talk to you soon.
I don't have much time. I am being transported by the Ecclesiad vessel Merkava to stand trial for heresy of the highest order. But I will not renounce my work, and to my last breath I will speak the truth of this plague-ridden world, that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The Heresies of Red Elf Buntwine, Chapter 2, coming May 1st.